It is Wednesday, October 5th. Mike Pence versus Tim Kaine in their first and only face-off.
And it was a fiery vice presidential debate where nothing was left unsaid.
Good morning to you. You are watching Fox and Friends First on this Wednesday morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Heather Childers.
Good morning. I'm Abby Huntsman. Thanks for starting your Wednesday with us. And this is where we begin. Both Governor Mike Pence and Senator Tim Kaine pushing policies and playing defense.
We trust Hillary Clinton as president and commander-in-chief, but the thought of Donald Trump as commander-in-chief scares us to death.
Ronald Reagan said a nation without borders is not a nation. Donald Trump is committed to restoring the borders of this nation,
so, Governor,
securing our
how
nation,
would these millions of undocumented...
On the economy, there's a fundamental choice for the American electorate. Do you want a you're hired president in Hillary Clinton, or do you want a you're fired president in Donald Trump? I think that's not such a hard choice.
Under this past administration, of which Hillary Clinton was a part, we've almost doubled the national debt. Is atrocious. Even former President Bill Clinton calls Obamacare a crazy plan. But Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine want to build on Obamacare. I come from a state that works. I still finished my term with $2 billion in the bank. That's a little bit different than when Senator Kaine was governor here in Virginia.
To beat terrorism, there's only one candidate who can do it, and it's Hillary Clinton. She worked a deal with the Russians to reduce their chemical weapons stockpile. She worked a tough negotiation with nations around the world to eliminate the Iranian nuclear weapons program without firing a shot.
America is less safe today than it was the day that Barack Obama became president of the United States. It's absolutely inarguable. We've weakened America's place in the world. It's been a combination of factors, but mostly it's been a lack of leadership.
Immigration. There's two plans on the table. Hillary and I believe in comprehensive immigration reform. Donald Trump believes in deportation nation. You got to pick your choice.
Well, Donald Trump's laid out a plan to end illegal immigration once and for all in this country. Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine want to continue the policies of open borders, amnesty, catch and release, sanctuary cities, all the things that are driving wages down in this country. Donald Trump has a plan that he laid out in Arizona that will deal systematically with illegal immigration, beginning with border security, internal enforcement.
Donald Trump always puts himself first. I can't imagine how Governor Pence can defend the insult-driven, selfish, me-first style of Donald Trump.
To be honest with you, if Donald Trump had said all the things that you said he said, in the way you said he said them, he still wouldn't have a fraction of the insults that Hillary Clinton leveled when she said that half of our supporters were a basket of deplorables. She said they were irredeemable. They were not America.
And here's a live look at Longwood University in Farmville, Virginia. That is where it all went down last night, and where we find Democratic strategist Chuck Rocha and the managing editor of Washington Free Beacon, Aaron McLean, who are both here to grade the candidates for us. Thank you both for sticking around with us. You know, it kind of became a I know I am, but what are you kind of thing, the back and forth. It's like whose candidate had insulted the other the worst. Chuck, let's start with foreign policy and what they managed to get in on that. Listen.
Donald Trump and I are committed to suspending the Syrian refugee program and programs and immigration from areas of the world that have been compromised by terrorism.
We got to keep taking out their leaders on the battlefield. We got to disrupt financing networks, disrupt their ability to recruit on the internet in their safe havens.
So, Chuck, what's your grade? Who do you think did better?
Well, I think it was kind of a toss-up on this particular issue. They both had things that they had to accomplish last night. The first thing was do no harm to the top of the ticket. Don't be a press headline today. That was accomplished. B, I think Mike Pence got a little bit ahead, and a little bit ahead in a good way, because he needed to make conservatives feel comfortable with their own nominee and let them know that there was a policy stalwart who's going to kind of represent them and their policy ideas. And I think he actually did a really good job last night of doing that, and he is good in his presentation. I think Tim Kaine was the attack dog. He was the attack dog like normally happens in vice presidential debates. And so I think that's what you saw last night. And as far as the foreign foreign policy. We're in an age where these conservative voters want to make sure that in the suburbs of Philadelphia and other places that their insecurities are met and worried about, because with the terrorism that's happening on our own soil, anything could happen.
But Aaron, were they able to actually answer that in any clear way? Because we've been talking about the number of interruptions. When it came to terrorism alone, Kaine interrupted Pence 9 times. So who do you think won?
No. I think that the edge went to Pence overall and on the national security foreign policy issue in particular. The interruptions for Kaine really went too far. I think he was trying to replicate a kind of Joe Biden-Paul Ryan dynamic from 2012, but he's not Joe Biden, and Mike Pence is certainly not Paul Ryan as far as the debating skills and chops at this point are concerned. Kaine in particular jumped the shark when he interrupted to say that, he saw 9/11 too, which was just kind of this ridiculous moment. On the foreign policy substance, yeah, I think I got into some of the details. Again, I think the edge went to Pence. He had an easy case to prosecute, which is that things aren't going well under Obama. Kaine has no choice but to align Hillary's record with Obama's. He can't create any daylight there. Pence made the case, and I think he was effective.
Yeah, Chuck, one of the issues that Donald Trump has made front and center from the very beginning of this campaign, that's immigration. Who do you think did a better job on that?
Man, I think that they really put their policy positions out there, and I was glad to hear the policy debate on what their visions are for immigration. On each side, they're talking to 2 different parts of the electorate who want to hear 2 different things. Pence riled up their bases, which they really need that turnout, and then Kaine came back to the middle ground on that piece to make sure that those voters in Virginia, in rural Ohio, heard that. So they kind of give each to each part of their constituency that they really need as a turnout. Right now, we talked about this yesterday. I'm more worried about the turnout and what's going to motivate people. Maybe these policy positions of each side staking out their positions is a path in the right direction to see if we can actually get some enthusiasm back in this debate.
Aaron, finally, the #1 issue that does tend to motivate people and get them out, that being the economy. Who did a better job with that?
Well, look, I think Mike Pence had just a killer line when Tim Kaine was prosecuting his case that the economy was just kind of hunky-dory and everything was rosy under Obama. And Pence said that, look, in Scranton, the people know different. I think that's true. I think that goes to the core of the Trump campaign's appeal, that the economic gains or growth that has occurred under Obama and the recovery from the 2008 financial crisis has not been evenly spread across the country. In this respect, the Republican Party has kind of taken inequality in a way on as an issue of its own. So again, I think this is another area where there was a slight edge for Pence.
I think he did a good job talking about the economy specific to their individual states as well. Thank you both for joining us. Chuck, we're missing your hat. We want you to bring that back next time. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.